Screw it again.
Right. We're gonna get started as soon as I have.
Derek graduated?
Yeah, Derek graduated.
It's fossil now. Now we know what to do. People are so scared. That's what they hear.
There we are. Okay. So we're going to start with good old roll call. If I could actually name. How many voting members do we have?
We have a total of 9 voting members, Joel.
All right. What is quorum?
15, Joel.
All right. So as a result of that, we can't actually vote on anything tonight. So I am suggesting that we table everything that requires a vote onto the next meeting and after a discussion with the executive board, and we'll figure out what's exactly going on there. Sorry, what?
Yes, that requires
Yes, that would require a quorum. So I don't believe that we have a choice in that.
We could do an executive order of some sort.
No.
Yes, Nova?
Could we not hear the presentation and give our opinions on it at least, so it's productive for him still?
Yes, that is a pretty good idea. I think we should go forward with that if everyone is all right with that.
Would we have to just do it over again when the rest of the Senate comes out? Or
They
one
can-
of like,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Which would you prefer? Would you prefer to give your presentation twice? Just give it at a later meeting?
Yes, I'm completely fine with that. I could do that.
At a later meeting?
I could do it twice.
Twice?
okay. Ooh,
Don't
nice.
expect much variation.
Well, this can do attitude.
All right, cool. The other voting item of the finance board nominations will table until next week. Well, I really should have showed the overall agenda. For the third item, I was hoping to have a discussion about when we actually have these meeting times, because I think that's all I need to say. And then we have quite a few reports from the executive board, as well as senator spotlights and senator reports, and then open for an adjournment. This meeting is probably going to be a lot faster than it originally was going to be as a result of not having quorum, but we'll figure it out. So we're going to start with the student org proposal. Bill, you can go ahead and come on up here. And
Hey, Joel, will you give him the exact time that he has?
yeah,
So he knows.
so you have 15 minutes for your overall presentation, and then there is going to be 5 minutes for Q&A. 5-minute discussion would be normal, but I think we're largely only going to be doing 15 minutes of your presentation and then 5 minutes of Q&A, and then discussion we can have for another time. I believe that that's a fair perspective.
15.
And Dylan, it doesn't have to be the full 15 minutes,
Oh, okay.
only if you need that much time.
Yeah. In addition, here is the clicker. The right should advance your presentation. Left.
There's a middle button, like click in the middle. but
It's
that's how the video-
a laser. We can just trigger that manually.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to see my new student organization proposal. I am presenting the IIT Computer Animation Club. We have next to nothing of a film club, or not even, something about video related at all. So that's why I chose to make this new organization. What is it about? You see, the Computer Animation Club, it's about, we want to teach new members how to do computer animation, of course. But not just that, we also present computer-oriented skills to help them open up new opportunities as they progress along the year. And our main purpose is to develop stronger diligence and cooperation between each other, as well as autonomy. Working alone and working in a team is all part of our goal. Of course, the best thing about this organization is that we're barely asking for any money at all. I'm only asking to borrow the computer lab and have the organization on the website to make it official. That's it. Just to borrow the facility computers and the protector, of course. All right. So I'm a first year here, and I really love doing computer animation. I do 2D, 3D stop motion, but we're just focusing on 3D animation for this year. This is mainly gonna teach new members. And this takes a lot of skill and passion, but that's the best part because when they're having fun, they're also developing skills as well. That'll help them in their careers. All right, of course, our main goal is teaching the basics of computer animation to brand new members. And most of the learning is going to come from themselves. They're going to learn for themselves, develop new skills, but they're also going to share with each other, show what they make, review each other, and that's how they can help each other out. Of course, I'm also going to be teaching them the basics, but it's up to them to develop themselves, develop their own autonomy. And yeah, it's going to be cool. We're going to have them create their own personal films. We could all watch it together and review it. And later, when every member is taught enough skills, we could all work together to create like a 2-hour Pixar-long film. I also made connections with other clubs. The comedy club, we're planning on collaborating. They write scripts, we turn it into an animation. As well as the 40K club, we can make 40K animations based on their games, their plays, or even make advertisements. So yeah, the best part of this is that organizations don't stay isolated from each other. Like the best thing is that organizations could collaborate, connect with each other. We stay distinct, but we're socializing. The software learning program, this is like our one and only program for this year. Members will be taught how to manipulate the software to create their computer animation, of course, but it also requires them to develop their own computer skills. So that's going to help them in the future. They're going to learn coordination, organizing files, and that's going to help optimize their CS skills. And the main reason I asked for a computer lab is because some members do not have adequate computers, but the IIT facility computers will work just as fine. All software is free. There's no virus, no money has to be spent, and it will all be uninstalled when it's not needed anymore. And I made this special little film just for you guys of computer animation. Ooh. Let me test the speaker. Yep, it works. Yeah, turn off the lights.
Yeah, go ahead.
Movie time.
Before you begin, can the people on Zoom see the animation?
Well,
Perfect.
okay, enjoy. right, thank you. Wait. Let's activate the video. Okay, of course, we gotta talk about policy. This is also in our contract. Yes? Oh, of course. Well, of course, we gotta talk about policy. It's in the Constitution already, but I'd like to go over it. All content will be reviewed, and I'm heavily, yes. So they're not gonna make any inappropriate, no discriminatory stuff, like, because they were using IIT materials, and I do not want them to create anything that could jeopardize the reputation of this fine facility. Thank you very much for giving me the time to present my idea.
Thank
What
you.
would you like?
That logo is so great.
The film logo.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, but that looks like Half-Life logo. Yeah, that's.
Thank you. That was really, really good. So we're going to now enter into our, well, fairly normal. In this case, it's a little abnormal. 5-minute question and answer period. Are there any questions for Dylan? Online?
Hello?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Alejandro.
I was just curious, maybe possibly, do you give a brief rundown of what kind of background you had that made you want to do this in the first place, and how you were able to perfect such outstanding animation skills?
All right, I'll recap on that. So I love animation. I always had these, stories in my head, a whole world universe, but I always wanted to see it on the screen, but I only had it in my dreams. But with computer animation, I could literally make anything I want and see it. And I want to give those skills and that passion to other people. Literally anyone could learn this easy. And yeah, I'm Dylan. I'm first year. I've been here for a month though. I did the summer program here. And I met April, who is my advisor and the director of ESI. And I made a little talent show, a movie with some ESI members, and she loved it, and she gave me this opportunity.
Thanks, that's great.
Are there any other questions? Should we move on?
Yes. Well, I'd like to move to go into discussion.
Or in this case, move on to the next agenda item, I guess.
I suppose, yeah.
Discussion, because we're not voting, we don't need it.
Thank you, Dylan. That was an amazing presentation.
Mhm.
You don't have to stay for the remainder of the meeting if you don't want to, but that is entirely up to you.
Well, okay, is this like irrelevant?
I mean, it's not, we won't be doing anything relevant to your org, so you can leave.
All right. Well, I'm presenting next time. Thank you all for sharing the time.
Of course. Thank you.
Oh, this is my
You're fine. So originally we would have gone on to the finance board nominations, but can't do that at that point. So I am going, yes, Elliot.
Finance board nominations are.
They already left.
They already left though. That's the thing.
Okay.
Well, we told them to leave. They were happy. Zoom.
Gotcha. All right. So considering that, I think we should just move on to this next point. And this is something that I wanted to personally talk about because I think it's kind of a problem right now, and I wanted to get your opinion on it before I actually decided to take any action and move when this meeting occurs at all. So, sorry.
Like voting, as in like they see the video recording, like now they see well already the finance board members left, but can they like make videos of themselves and then see those videos and then the person voting, or it's just happening?
Possibly. That could be one possible solution. It would require a lot of forethought on things. But that is a possible solution. Thank you for that idea. So in terms of the SGA meeting, I think it's a little late And I think that kind of gets in the way of us actually doing anything effective because meetings are always rushed to end as soon as possible because people are tired, they have classes the next day. And we can't actually really talk about things in an effective way. And also it means that people don't really want to be here. So the main things that I've so far started to think about in terms of how we can alter this meeting are the following. So the first thing I wanted to entertain was an earlier time, specifically starting slightly after 6 p.m. The reason why I chose 6 p.m. is because the last section of classes begins at 6:25. Was my thought. So another idea and process I was having is that we would, instead of having like very long meetings, we would break the meetings into smaller chunks and limit the amount of items that can be on any particular agenda. These alterations are not mutually exclusive. They can happen simultaneously if necessary. And then the final thing was an idea that came from, if I'm remembering correctly originally, is instead of having weekly meetings, we have bi-weekly meetings, and then on the off weeks are when committee meetings happen. So Senate committee, Senate committee, Senate committee. So I'm just wanting your ideas, and if you have any concerns or something that I should be thinking about when it comes to these alterations. Elio.
So, well, two things. So, for the bi-weekly thing, I'm not very keen or very excited about that, just because if we all remember last semester when there were those weeks that were just extremely long, I cannot imagine what would happen if we split the meetings in, like, if we split the amount of meetings in half, where the agendas would now have to grow even more. And while we could limit the number of items on the agenda, that would basically stretch us all the way into a following semester, possibly, which could stress the Senate in terms of its flexibility. And
No, I didn't realize you were.
oh, and I was going to say, I'm in class until 6 p.m. Leave.
Gotcha.
I think that you wanted was first. And
Yeah.
then-
Naeem, do you still have a point?
Sure thing, I have a comment. So just as an update for RHA, we're doing our meetings bi-weekly. But that might also change for us too, depending on the demand we have for our special presentation slot, which I'll get into after we deal with this. But I think for us, we're lucky in the sense that we only have to deal with residents and we're keeping things strictly virtual. For the most part, I have not had too much resistance on our time being so late. However, for Senate, I believe the meetings are just far more full usually. And it's just figuring out how to truncate the things. Just, I think, going to be interesting. Yeah, that I'm not exactly sure how we can do, but my worry is that if we do like limit the amount of meetings that we have, then it won't be really possible for us to get shorter times. We'll just have so much in the backlog or so.
Just to go off the last 2 points, I totally agree that an earlier time is necessary. I think that is one of the big barriers for people attending. However, I do find some contention with the bi-weekly meetings just because we moved to weekly specifically because we were having meetings that were getting so stacked. I mean, right now we're not so busy, but you know, as the semester starts like rolling, we are going to have more and more agenda items, which is also a point against the third point on there. And I mean, yeah, besides that, I do think there is a definite need to a change to the Senate meeting schedule. I just think the frequency and the size of them is fine as is.
Are there any other, Nabia?
Earlier time, I would not.
Could you speak up?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, I was gonna say for earlier time, let's not do 6 p.m. only because when people go for dinner, they usually go for 5 or 6. So I would say 7 or 8 o'clock, but I would prefer 7.
Okay.
That would be a better time.
That and say, I've got 2 classes during the 6:25 to 9 o'clock.
We have the same-
We have the same class. We just came from it right before here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we might find some conflict.
It's fine though, because I don't mind. I might have Rushali step in and help me out, say the agenda for, so I don't mind that.
Isaiah?
For the committee heads, do you think that you'll still be able to have like good committee meetings on like a weekend if people are meeting every week till like say midnight every night as well?
Yeah, I'm-
So the main reason why Dean said suggested the bi-weekly is that, like Joe said, on the off weeks the committee meets,
Yeah.
which is why also it's kind of historically been that committees have had a hard time meeting together. Because you're already asking a lot of someone to come here. Doesn't mean that every Wednesday night till basically midnight, and then say 2 days later they have to meet, an hour again, which is like the last few. Personally, because I agree with the bi-weekly thing as well.
No,
So.
same here. That's why.
For me, be as difficult just because I'm sort of a one-man team. For me, it wouldn't be as difficult because I'm sort of a one-man team when it comes to like committee sort of things. And I know for the other committee heads, that can be a difficulty.
let's say the VP of, or the Student Life Committee has met historically, I believe weekly for a while and on Sundays. So, I mean, we already have a weekend meeting, and as far as I was aware, for at least most of last year, of course, dithered a little bit towards the end, but for the most of last year, there was some fairly fine attendance, even as we switched to weekly meetings. So, at least from my standpoint, I don't think that is much of a concern.
And if I can speak for a second, if that's okay. One kind of solution, I guess, to the agenda is getting exceedingly long during some Senate meetings is we might be able to increase the ability of Senate to make unanimous decisions outside of a meeting. Just a radical idea that would require quite a bit, but it's an
We
idea.
should raise the restrictions for extending a discussion period,
Yes.
because I feel like we do a lot of pointless discussions.
I think, sorry, you guys, nobody's calling on me, so I'm just calling on myself.
Sorry, I didn't see Rachel.
That's okay. 2 things. One, I think if you want to keep meetings every week, you can do the agenda from all of the VPs 1 week and then break into committees after if you want to do that and just make it a 15-minute meeting. Then everybody can leave who's not on a committee. If you want to break it up that way. And then I also like that idea. I can't even remember what was just said. I'm so sorry. My brain is broken. What did someone just say? I'm so sorry.
Limiting the amount that discussion can be extended.
Yes, and I think we need to limit the amount that we're giving orgs to present. 15 minutes is far too long. We should give them 7 minutes, 5 minutes.
5 is
It just needs to be succinct. They don't need to tell us how they came up with the idea, why this is their favorite thing. They just need to give us all the points that they put in the document that they've already sent to Joel, they've already sent to Graham. That I think has been taking too long, and we've been way too egregious giving so much time for questioning. I think we extend questioning only like twice or something.
Yeah. Naeem?
I'll make one suggestion as a possible solution. What we could do is, and this will sound bad, but maybe not so bad in theory, we could split our current meeting into 2, meet twice a week during lunchtime for shorter periods of time. Those 2 days we decide to choose each week, and maybe do something along.
I'm already packed on lunch meetings.
Yeah, that's my only worry.
I have like 2 exec meetings at lunch. I can't.
I want to like refute Nova and Elio's argument. I understand you guys last year, the attendance was high, but right now, like this year, right, we don't have a lot of
Head.
and yet I don't know, like for this year if we would have increased attendance. But I think if we do the bi-weekly meetings, right, people will have like at least more flexibility in terms of, oh, I could come here at this time, and over the week meetings, like it won't feel as much more strict and more controlled as people might think it might be.
With that, we do have about a minute or so left. I've been trying to limit to about 5 to 7 minutes. Nova?
I'll just keep my comments short and mostly focused on what Rachel said. I think the idea of having 2 meetings weekly where one we focus on agenda items and one where we break out into committee meetings and have reports, I think that would be a fair compromise, especially at least to stay us until the Senate elections, because I think that is one important thing we got to all consider is we're going to have a whole new batch of senators, hopefully. I think that would be a fine idea. I am a little iffy about the ideas of limiting questioning, but I do agree that we should limit the time that orgs have to present. Maybe not down to 5 minutes, but definitely 15 is too long.
And Isaiah, I believe you had something?
I had a very good point. It was very quick. Echo on with the whole bi-weekly meetings. I do also feel like it could work from a time constraint if, and like Wyatt and Rachel were saying, if we're way more strict on time and are just, I know we don't have a parliamentarian, so it's hard, but I feel like if Senate was actually very strict on its time structures, it would also feel good work as well. Because historically, it's worked this way before because of how strict it's been. So that's my.
All right, gotcha. I just wanted to gather some feedback and see what direction the next Senate should be going.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead, Graham.
If a start time was agreed upon before the next election and future senators were aware that being available at a certain time of day was a prerequisite to being a part of student government, I mean, would that be overly prohibitive to certain majors or certain students? I do think, at some point you got to say you can harm the group by trying to accommodate everyone's schedule to the point where we're meeting so late, it's getting absurd. I remember when I was a student leader, they told us on our union board, can't make the 6 p.m. start time for our meetings. You really shouldn't be on union board because we meet at this time every week and we have for years. And that seems to work. Now I understand that class times are different at Illinois Tech. That's why I wanted to ask what the student perspective was on that, because I think if you communicate something like that early, you can sort of set a precedent and a good boundary with some of this. What do you think?
And that exact point is actually something that I'm working on right now. I'm planning on working with the registrar and just overall doing a bunch of data analysis to figure out when classes start and what majors. So who kind of goes where. And I was hoping to bring that up at a later Senate meeting to talk about that in much more detail. But I think I agree with the type of questions that you're asking. So with that, I believe we can move on to executive reports. Since everything else was so fast. Bia?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm so tired. Okay. Hi guys. So justice applications are opening up. We need at least like 2 more volunteers and 1 more justice. So if any of you senators decide to leave, I don't want to be part of Senate anymore, you could also be part of judicial board. So form is going to come out 1 to 2 weeks, and interviews will start in late September, early October.
Thank you. Next, we have VP of Communications. Elio?
Everybody, I'm not gonna stand up because I've been on my feet all week and all day. But I just want to say it is so good to be back. I'm so happy to see the people that are here today, and for the future people that will show up to our future meetings. It's supposed to start going up regularly again, especially during these upcoming Senate elections. TikTok posts are also going to start going up again because we ended off the semester, even though we had only like 3 videos, we ended up with like 3,000 viewers, which was actually pretty impressive for what we got. going on here. And then for the climate survey, we'll start promoting that again. But I'm going to talk with our president about possibly modifying the survey to accommodate for fall semester instead of the spring semester. And it'll be going up all over the campus screens, on Instagram, and on physical flyers around MPCC and residential buildings. And yeah, it's just good to be back. Nice to see you all. So thank you.
Thanks, Elliot. Next, we have VP of Student Life, Nova.
I'll stand up here. I like it. So yeah, I just actually I have quite a few points compared to normal. Food advisory board meeting was yesterday. There's going to be some changes to the center court. In particular, they're going to be rotating out some of the stands that are there. Yeah, they've introduced new menus and new things. So the basic idea is Absurd Bird, which is, you know, the one where you get chicken, is always going to be there as a kind of like, you know, a reliable option. But they'll be rotating stuff out. I know they have some, I can't remember them all off the head, but I remember one of them is like a Mexican food kind of stand. So be on the lookout because there's going to be some more dynamic feels with the center court.
Are they gonna get rid of the like sushi and the?
It will be out for like a certain period of time. It will come back.
No.
They have a certain set.
No.
schedule.
Is it like weekly or?
It's every. So there will be a change every 2 weeks, but it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks a station will be out.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah. And then the weekly pop-up stations. I'm sure you've seen them in the Commons. The stuff with the ice cream cooler and the slushes. They're planning on keeping that a permanent thing, and they might throw some more things in there just to kind of spice up the Commons and again, you know, breathe some fresh life into the space where students are constantly going. There are some Bog and Commons events coming up, a continuation of the Thankful stuff from last semester, and just some other things. So be on the lookout for that as well. And you will obviously, if you follow Tech Eats, the Instagram account, you'll get forewarning on that. And then the food insecurity program, kind of talked about it last semester. It is a program to help students who are food insecure after dining hours. From what I've heard, we are very close to having that launched. We're currently, or the food advisory board team is currently with some legal issues with the school, just to make sure like it is perfectly safe to do this and completely kosher. So not in the food sense. And so yeah, again, be on the lookout. This is on the horizon. Hopefully by this semester, sometime in the middle of it, if everything goes well. Blood drive, that's tomorrow. You can go without prior sign up if you haven't scheduled, and help the starving vampires across the world. And I do actually have another slide. Campus Safety Awareness Week. This has been like my big project working with administration for the last, since I got elected, really. It is currently planned to be the last week of September. This is a very like cautious, tentative schedule. This is what I was presented with literally today, and they are still working on it. So take it with a grain of salt. But you can kind of get the general idea of what we're doing. Bike registration for students on Monday and Thursday. That'll just be a station outside the MTCC. There'll be a safety resources on the MTCC bridge. And so that can help you get acclimated to actually hands-on using some safety equipment. Like has anyone ever used a fire extinguisher? Like this would be a good time to learn if you've never done that, and some other stuff like that. Active aggressor training. This was something that previous Campus Safety Awareness Weeks had that was apparently hugely successful, where you, I'm not going to go much into it. That is planned for Wednesday and maybe Friday. Don't know yet. This whole thing is going to have collaboration. Like we're trying to really expand the scope of it, so it's not just public safety. There's going to be collaborations with the Chicago Police Department, Chicago Fire Department. We're going to expand it to like environmental safety and lab safety. And there'll be hands-on training and presentations throughout the week. Really excited to kind of bring more info as that comes up, though. And that has kind of been my big project. So yeah, that's all I got, I think. It's in the MTCC auditorium during lunch, so or like 12 to 4, so during and after lunch, and I'll be there.
All right. Thank you, Nova.
Thank you.
So. Okay, so a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Number one was committees and projects. The second one is the Discord being the main platform for SGA. Hold on a second. Let me swap this actually. Swap it up like that. So overall, committees have largely not been assigned for this semester and for the rest of this tenure. But as we talked about last semester, we're wanting to move to a more project-based assignment rather than assigning you to a very specific committee. So by next week, I was hoping to have a rough idea of all the different projects that everyone wanted to work on. So I'm going to say this now and also talk about it later. Next week, I would like every senator to come back to this meeting with 2 projects that they think that they want to work on. That's not really that hard. It can be something as simple as just like talk with the people at the Commons or join the food advisory board. It can be fairly simplistic things or it can be very complicated things. Just trying to get an idea of what everyone is interested in doing. The second thing is that we're moving over to Discord as our main platform. So if you're not on the Discord server, that's where all of our major announcements are going to be from now on. There is a scannable QR code there if you have not joined it yet. So yeah, that's all I have. Jose?
Oh, so welcome back, everyone. Welcome to a new academic year. Yeah, I think I have 2 slides. Welcome to a new academic year. There's a lot of proposed changes that I want to do to how SGA functions. Number one. But yeah, but first of all, that all starts with you. I'm not allowed to bring anything to Senate floor. You have to vote for them. So I will have you work with you for all that stuff. So I will be resuming constitutional and bylaws discussions relatively soon. I'll figure out when those will be structured and all that jazz later on. But yeah, I have a goal of having sort of these new rules going into effect at the beginning of the next year, January 1st, 2023. So we can spend most of this semester figuring it out and then hopefully in November time voting on it, all that jazz. Yeah. But for right now, the most important thing is that Senate elections are very, very soon, about a month. And so we really need to get the word spread out. I have a calendar here. So September 7th, that is next week. That is when nominations open. This weekend, I'll make the nominations form because I forget that I'm the chairman. Yeah, so I'll do that. But yeah, they start on the 7th. Campaigning starts on the 11th. And then voting is technically supposed to be a week. So it is not going to be that entire last week of September, which will coincide with campus awareness. But yeah, by far, this is like the most important thing that we need to get going for SGA. We need this body to actually work. So please tell your friends. I know Elio will start communications about it pretty soon. So kind of Rachel for like 5 more days, I guess. Kaylin and Graham, I'll be working with you all as well. I know CL's end about kind of pushing the word out too. But yeah, I said it a dozen times now, but this is by far like the most important thing that we have.
Okay. Next, we have the campus administration. Rachel, Graham.
Hey guys, so I will be out on maternity leave most likely next Tuesday or Wednesday, based on when I have the baby. I'm gonna let the Kaylin and Graham kind of talk about everything else. I just wanted to pop in and say I'm so excited that this is happening. I'm so sad that we don't have quorum for this first meeting. It's so disappointing, but I just wanted to make sure to say goodbye to you all before I left. But I'll let Graham and Kaylin take it from here.
Okay. Yeah, we just wanted to share the homecoming schedule so that it was SGA was aware. Kaylin and I and Michaela, our newest team member in OCL, have been working on getting the details together. We have a week's worth of stuff. I assume the other events are on the other slides. There's not just one event on Monday. But really, this was just to put the event details on your radar. I won't go through everything on a granular level. We plan on sending out the full schedule to campus via the OCL newsletter next week. And we'll of course be advertising in other ways as well, but we wanted to just let you know. But if anyone has any questions about the events, Kaylin and I would be happy to answer them while we're here.
And we do want to just remind you guys that Wednesday is the color wars, which you guys are organizing. We did just assign random colors to each of the colleges that are all IIT colors. But that's your guys' event. So definitely make sure that you promote that, as we're going to promote that. And then on Monday specifically, if you want to go back one more, we are painting Footlick Lane, and we are, I just sent out an email actually today to Isaiah, but we're asking that Union Board, SGA, and Greek Life kind of represent the painting. So we're asking if you guys can come earlier to start decorating, and then also just kind of really encourage other groups. We want you guys to have like, a bigger space to decorate. So if you can come, please do. This will be a really good event also to talk to new students about maybe becoming senators. So this could be a great little marketing event for you guys as well. But we would really love that all, SGA is definitely, represented, and for you guys to just attend a lot of these events and promote them so we can get more students out and about. But those two specifically, that Monday and that Wednesday, we just want to make sure that's extra on your radar.
Thanks. So, shoot, sorry, I didn't realize that there was another event
Saturdays.
on Saturday.
It keeps going. It keeps going.
Really? No, it doesn't.
Okay, so now, just real quick, we're on to senator reports. Is there anyone who wants to? Go ahead, Naeem.
Hello, everyone. This is a combination of two reports. For one, I've already known with a couple of the other exec members. I will be slowly stepping down from the exec assistant role. I've had to step back from a law position due to just honestly increase in force load and things of that nature, as well as the focus that mainly RHA needs right now from me. Where the SGA is right now, RHA is 8 miles farther behind than that, so we are in desperate need of help. And I'll have some updates on that in just a second. But I did just want to let you all know that along with new senators, a new exec assistant also would be ideal, and hopefully we can have someone step into that position that needs that leadership experience. I definitely have plenty already. I'm not lacking in that area at all. And giving someone else that platform in that position to succeed and learn more about student government is going to be essential. In addition to that, there are a couple of RHA announcements you should know. For when we had our RHA senator determined for quite a while, however, without four, we can't really vote them in, can we? So this is going to be a little bit of a delay on that, but we have that person. They'll of course be working with Nova in student life. In addition to that, RHA meetings are going to be next Thursday night at 9:15 here, and right now they're planned to be bi-weekly. However, that may increase because we are changing the format of RHA meetings. They are still virtual. However, they are now containing 3 parts. The first part being the introduction of the announcements, so on and so forth. But the second part, we are now opening the second part to special org presentations. Student orgs on campus will be encouraged to create presentations of at most 15 minutes in length to present some useful skill or utility to residents on campus during the duration of the RHA meeting. This is to encourage every RHA meeting to be different. We might have OCL one day, we might have SGA maybe one day, we might have an RA do a presentation, sit up whoever, whatever. Or come and do something that's useful. The library, I know, is also interested. So we are opening that up very soon. And I think we might have a lot of takers. In the event where we do have a lot of interest in that, we will actually probably resume weekly meetings, just so that students can have that weekly new org presentation to look forward to as residents. So that's something we're really excited about that we're starting with next week for RHA. And then lastly, we still will have our open floor similar to how it is in SGA, where we will questions. That starts next week. And other than that, that's all I really have concrete wise that I should probably announce in front of SGA for RHA things. Those are things I should probably talk to OC all about in private. But yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Naeem. Does anyone else have anything? Seeing none, we can move on to open floor. I'm guessing no one has anything for that. I thought Naeem's hand was about to go up.
Oh, no. Oh, but by the way, SGA is very much encouraged to come to apply for one of those spots because we'll have a lot of residents. Definitely let it be known.
And with that, we can just adjourn. All right. Thanks everyone for being here.